Well, we're all trying to learn more. We're continuing to follow the global tech meltdown that was triggered by Crowdstrike today.
Before today, many people said, who? Crowdstrike? So that's why we brought in a cybersecurity expert, Grayson Milbourne. Thanks for joining us. Many of us have heard the name at least, but tell us, what is Crowdstrike and what does it do?
Yeah, so Crowdstrike is a cybersecurity company, and they have a variety of service offerings, but one of them is endpoint security software. And you can kind of think about this like antivirus software for your computer. So that's one of their big businesses. And unfortunately, what happened in the past 24 hours was they released an update to that, which caused computers to crash.
Unlike an app or something that you might sign up for, if you have a Microsoft operating system, which so much of the world does, you were exposed to this. Crowdstrike is there on almost all of the computers that use Microsoft?
That's not true. So this is a software that a lot of big companies use to protect themselves from cyber threats. And so why we saw such a big impact is that they have a lot of customers that are nation states, large enterprises, hospitals, government agencies. Really, they have a very large footprint. And so when a company that has that much of a distributed software presence makes a big mistake, and brings things to their knees, right? We see what we had happen today.
What they were intending to do, you said, is updates that happen all the time. But this was something that probably should have been like a slow rollout, or how would you describe it?
So that's part of the problem, right? And when we think about software security products, they have to operate at a deeper level on the operating system. Okay. And so when you're at that low level, you have to be very cautious because a very small mistake can lead to a system crashing. And so we saw those notorious blue screens of death occur. And so that's never a good thing. But to your point, yeah, when you make a change to a part of your software that does interact at this level, it's not an uncommon practice to have a very slow rollout and to release it to a small percentage of your customers and evaluate this type of response. And so if that had happened, ideally this would have been caught well before a global update was applied and causing airlines and hospitals and 911 systems. And I mean, really, so many other businesses rely on Windows. And if you were a Crowdstrike customer, today was probably a busier than normal Friday.
What does this mean as far as security? The echoes of this as far as people being able to get to or access or affect the way computers run in so many places around the world?
I think it's another wake-up call to remember, like, cyber resilience is a really important concept to think about. We are very reliant on these systems and our software and the internet, but sometimes things blow up. Sometimes it's a threat actor or ransomware. Other times it's a software vendor's mistake. And so having fallback plans that you can rely on, we saw airlines very quickly pivot to handwritten boards to tell customers where they need to go. The whiteboard, right? It's still relevant in times of crisis. And so I think being prepared for that is certainly one thing.
Can the individual do anything to insulate or protect themselves?
To say?
Yeah, so I mean, unfortunately, one of the things we've seen immediately following the Crowdstrike news is that threat actors started using this big news event, and we see this with every major news event. But they take advantage of it, right? And so they've been emailing, a lot of phishing campaigns, going out, emailing people who work at different businesses and saying, hey, I'm from Crowdstrike, connect with me, I'm gonna help you resolve any problems you have. Well, that's not the case. Crowdstrike has already come out saying that this is not what they're doing, and if you need assistance, they're here to help, but you need to contact them through their website, and they've created links and portals to help facilitate that.
So for everybody that didn't know Crowdstrike, they do now. So that's not necessarily a great thing for a company, but...
They say all publicity is good publicity. I think today might challenge that.
Grayson, it's good to see you. Thanks for trying to bring some light to this, which can be
so much.
pretty complicated.
Glad to be here.